Last year on the channel, you may recall I made an episode about System Link games for the Microsoft Xbox range of consoles. Its main purpose is to allow for multiplayer gaming on multiple consoles without having to resort to split-screen multiplayer on a single console. With the built-in Ethernet of the original Xbox system, System Link worked by connecting multiple Xboxes together for LAN gaming. It was a feature that was introduced with launch games 1 year before Xbox Live was released for the original Xbox. And this was the birth of the Halo LAN party. Microsoft would continue supporting System Link in the Xbox 360, with its additional processing power could allow for up to 16 consoles to be connected together. When the Xbox One was released in 2013, System Link games continued to be supported. However, by then, the landscape had changed with more people having access to fast internet, and the continued push for Xbox Live multiplayer became front and center the priority. But that's not to say that System Link games were not supported. In fact, on the Xbox One, there are still titles that do support System Link, such as Gears 4, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and a few others. But perhaps the most interesting feature of System Link is when you combine it with Xbox's backward compatibility support. Backward compatibility games stem all the way back to the Xbox 360, with over 500 North American original Xbox games supported for that system. And while Xbox Live 1.0 was shut down in 2010, System Link functionality continues to exist in Xbox's backward compatibility emulation. What this means is you can System Link an OG Xbox, a 360, and an Xbox One together. And we've done this by setting up an experiment and playing Crimson Skies across all three consoles without any difficulty. When the Xbox Series S and Series X were released in November of 2020, backward compatibility was a major selling point for the system. But what about System Link? Can you still System Link up 4 generations of Xbox consoles together, including the brand new Series S and Series X? The answer is yes. And let's go ahead and take a look and see how it's done. So for this, we are going to use the game Crimson Skies, which is backward compatible across all generations of Xbox console, and of course was originally released for the OG Xbox in the mid-2000s. Once again, we need some hardware. The first is the OG Xbox running a copy of Crimson Skies, then next to that will be the Xbox 360 released in 2005 with a copy of Crimson Skies that's running via backward compatibility. Next to that is the Xbox One VCR that was released in 2013. Once again via backward compatibility, we can run a copy of Crimson Skies. And the Xbox Series S rounds out this experiment on the far right, released in November of 2020. Here is a physical copy of Crimson Skies, however, it can only run digitally of course, so we purchased a version of the game on the Microsoft Store. Now this is our complete System Link setup. Now we are going wide directly from each of the Ethernet ports coming out of the back of each of the systems into a wireless switch and then into my Ethernet router and connecting to the internet. Now you can use wireless for this, but in my experience, wireless by definition is kind of flaky and it does tend to drop out and cause all sorts of issues. So in my experience, the best way to proceed is just have everything wired up and you just eliminate all sorts of variables and issues. So let's go ahead and see if we can actually connect up 4 generations of Xbox console and play System Link Crimson Skies. What I'm going to do is start out with the original Xbox and create a System Link game, and I'll pick the Piranha. So we have set up our Xbox original System Link game for Crimson Skies. So now if we move over to our Xbox 360, let's go ahead and set up a System Link game here as well, and it should pick up the game that we created on the original Xbox. There's Digifactor. So as you can see, it's pulled in the game correctly, as we would expect, and when we've done this before. Now moving over to the Xbox One VCR, let's go ahead and set up a System Link game here as well. And it should pull in our game. There it is. So we have 3 players. Now this is the real test. Will the Xbox Series S connect via System Link? Let's see what happens. And there's our game. And let's go ahead and pick the Bulldog. And as you can see, we have a 4-player split screen Xbox System Link game all loaded up and ready to play. This is actually quite incredible. A 19-year gap between 4 systems. 3 of these systems are running the game via backward compatibility. Let's keep that in mind. And we're still able to load up a multiplayer game and connect. Now let's go ahead and start this game. You can see the game will begin in 3 seconds. And look at that, this is absolutely incredible. I'm curious to see that the Series S should load faster than anything, but there you go. I mean, unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. This is absolutely incredible to see that we are running a 4-player split screen game across 4 generations of Microsoft console. Absolutely incredible, and one of the best features of the Xbox that was never taken away. And that's one thing that I really do appreciate, that Xbox always kept the ability to have System Link games. This is absolutely incredible. I do want to commend Microsoft for continuing to support System Link in 2020 with the Xbox Series S. It's a feature that is kind of inherited as part of backward compatibility, but it is something that they could have simply have patched out, just in the same vein as with the game demos, or when you select the Xbox Live option for an OG Xbox game. They could have just as easily taken out System Link, but they continue to support it in 2020, and as we can see, we can run 4 generations of Xbox console over 19 years of history and running the same game, Crimson Skies, and it's absolutely blowing my mind. 3 of these games obviously are running via backward compatibility. We're talking about the Xbox 360 version, the Xbox One VCR version, and of course the Xbox Series S version with its backward compatibility. And the original Xbox game, Crimson Skies, obviously is the original game that was released back in the mid-2000s. It is one of those features that's not really that relevant anymore, especially when we consider online gaming with, just a ISP and fast internet. But I do love the fact that they are continuing to support their legacy and not taking a feature away like this, especially as we start to see more backward compatible titles appear on the Xbox Series S going forward that will have System Link options built in. And I do want to see more of these games start to come out that do support System Link. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this look at System Link across 4 generations of home console. What an amazing story, and I want to say thank you to Microsoft for not removing this feature. It's so cool to see, and I'd like to see Microsoft now really dive back into their backward compatible library and bring us more OG Xbox games to the backward compatible library for the Series S and beyond. There's only a handful of titles now, as we know, but with more titles that do come to backward compatibility that support System Link means that this feature can be utilized in more meaningful ways. Well guys, we are going to leave it here for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, leave me a thumbs up, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye for now.